I want to talk about electromagnetic interference, aka the dreaded EMI. What is it? What is that? The bell tolls for me. Let's give it a second. Well, God darn, it's going to chime 9 times. What is it? What can I do about it? Am I stuck with EMI? Is it going to haunt me the rest of my life? Yes, it is. But you can mitigate it. Let's
Let's
go.
go. Let's go.
All right, so EMI, where's it come from? How do you know if what you're experiencing is EMI? Okay. First thing is this, all right? It's EMI if your detector gets the noise when you sit it down and let go of it. Okay. Um, that's not ground noise. If you hold your coil up in the air and you're getting noise, that's not ground noise. That's EMI. Okay. EMI and ground noise are two completely different things. One has nothing to do with the other. Okay. Ground noise comes from the ground, EMI comes from the air. Okay. Um, Everything around us that plugs in or has any kind of electrical field to it can cause EMI. All right. I mean, nowadays you got cell phones, Bluetooth, Wi Fi, power lines, dog fences, electric fences, transformers, not the robot car dudes, the transformers on telephone poles, guys. Um, just anything, cars, houses, TVs, wiring, just all kinds of stuff. You know, today everything's electrical, everything's emitting electrical fields. I mean, you didn't have this back in the 1800s. You know, there weren't a whole lot of electrical fields, just the natural electrical fields from the earth. But you know, back then, you know, the metal detectors were made of wood. But anyway, so what do we do about EMI? All right, you got to think of it like this. All right, electromagnetic fields have a frequency. Okay, they're coming in at a certain frequency, like just like a radio station. Okay. Now, the first thing that most metal detectors have is a noise cancel, and what that does is it's going to shift the frequency of your metal detector, what it's receiving on the receive coil, what frequency and transmit and receive. What frequency are you using? Even in multi-frequency, it'll shift all the bands, but it's going to give it a little shift. Okay, just they're equipped with, you know, a smart technology that'll shift the frequency and look for the quietest band. Um, that that is minimally effective. Okay, usually I find it's not super effective. The Manticore has about the best noise cancel out there. The other ones, they work sometimes, sometimes not so much. But what do you do then if that doesn't work? Well, think about this. It was shifting the frequency. So, what's the first thing that you probably want to do is make a major shift in frequency. Okay, the little tiny shift in frequency didn't work. Let's do a major shift in frequency. You can change from multi-frequency to a single frequency if you have to, but if you have different choices of multi-frequency, try that. You know, XP has multiple, you know, a max frequency setting on multi-frequency uh, modes where you can lower the max frequency to kind of help with that, and that does work a lot of times. Think of it like this: if you were getting some static on a radio station, your favorite radio station, you were getting some static, are you going to turn the volume down? What I'm doing there is making an analogy to turning sensitivity down right away and in response to EMI. Actually, what you want to do first is tune out the EMI like you would tune your radio to a different station if it was full of static. Okay. It's the same concept. You're getting your detector is a giant antenna picking up, radio waves that you're putting into the ground. Radio, magnetic fields, radio waves, magnetic fields, they're all intertwined. Okay. Radio waves are just magnetic fields. And magnetic fields are just, well, radio waves are a certain frequency of magnetic fields. But it's the same concept. Okay. So you tune out of your EMI first, try to. If the EMI is that overwhelming that you can't, then go to sensitivity, lower your sensitivity a little bit at a time. Another thing you can do is raise or make your reactivity speed faster. Okay. That can help with EMI. You can, if you're using a gigantic coil, those can be more susceptible to EMI, all right, than a smaller coil or like an average size coil. Maybe switch to a different coil. If you're in an area, and not every area you're in is going to have bad EMI, but if you happen to be somewhere and you're having a major problem just because that day the EMI is bad there, whatever, switch to a smaller coil if you can. You've got so far we've talked about changing your frequency first, then just bumping down your sensitivity a hair. Okay. Look at what size coil you're using, your reactivity speed or your recovery speed, same thing. Okay. I interchange those words. XP uses reactivity, recovery speed's used by everyone else. Um, you can actually just sort of move to a different area. Okay. It's sometimes localized to 50 feet. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's an area covering, half a mile of EMI, just really bad that day. Maybe there's some sort of power surge. Who knows? It could be anything. You can't even tell what it is. It may not be obvious right there. But those are the main ways to combat EMI. Audio response. If you're using an audio response type program that raises faint tones, that is going to pick up EMI and just amplify the heck out of your EMI. Or if you're getting a little bit of EMI and you're running a high audio response, now your little bit of EMI became a lot of EMI. Okay. Um, so be careful with audio response. Um, you know, that's pretty much most of the things. Those are the major ones that can help. So anyway, this was a short video. Just hey, have fun. Have a great new year, everyone. Thank you for subscribing. Hit 500 subscribers this week. Thank you for watching and swing away.
Let's go. Let's go.